Coming up on the National Rundown, thunderstorms are causing major issues in several counties in Oklahoma. We'll get the latest news on tonight's NFL Draft, and stay tuned to hear the exciting news about NASA.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome to the National Rundown. I'm Matt Gunderson.
And I'm Steven Rodriguez. The Vice President visits Baghdad to meet with Iraqi leaders. Today's gathering is intended to help resolve political problems in an effort to defeat ISIS. Joe Biden, along with U.S. Ambassador Stuart Jones and Lieutenant General Sean McFarland, meet with the Iraqi Prime Minister for about 90 minutes. Later, they met with Iraqi Speaker of Parliament to discuss future plans of reform for the country. Biden has said that he is in a good relationship with those leaders.
Authorities obtained a search warrant for Prince's home. Law enforcement filed the paperwork after they discovered that the singer was in possession of drugs when he died last Thursday. The Carver County Sheriff Office has contacted the U.S. DEA about possibly assisting in an investigation after Prince's toxicology is completed. The deputies are not allowed to disclose any further information about what they are searching for. And now we'll learn about the devastation from severe thunderstorms in southern Oklahoma.
Well, you're looking at what's left of this two-story barn here along Sarah Road and Southwest 59th Street. Patsy Maloney and her family have lived here 12 years. They say this was an area their softball team would come to gather and practice. Her son also loves to work on classic cars, including that 1966 Camaro that also took a direct hit from last night's storm. Now, here's what's interesting. Patsy and her family were listening to the news, hearing that the storm could be heading their way around 8 o'clock last night. They decided, should they make the move to go outside to the cellar? Instead, they decided to stay inside their house and shelter, and that split-second decision likely saved their lives.
The timing would have been terrible. We would have definitely been there.
Because it's outside, your cellar's
outside. Yes, we would have been walking to the cellar when it happened.
Patsy, her husband, her two boys, and her daughter are fine this morning. Right now, they're spending most of the day just taking pictures and picking up what's left. They'll be sending those pictures to their insurance company. They say they have plans to rebuild. On the southwest side, Rachel Calderon, News 9.
A bill in the House of Representatives requires women to register for the Selective Service. This bill just comes months after the Defense Department lifted all gender-based restrictions in military combat. The change is a provision within a larger defense bill that the full House will consider next month. The issue is sure to add to the debate about the role of women in the military. The United States has not had a military draft since 1973.
The UK's Royal College of Physicians announces that e-cigarettes are safer than smoking. In a 200-page document written by these specialists, they concluded that vaping could improve the lives of millions of people. Not only are e-cigarettes healthier, they are believed to stop addiction. The physicians also say state smokers who go on and use e-cigarettes have a better chance of quitting smoking permanently. The studies have shown vaping is up to 95% less harmful than traditional cigarettes. The police arrest 54-year-old Christopher Nelson of Queen Village, Philadelphia. He is charged with 13 criminal offenses and possession of, quote, an instrument of crime. Officers received a call Saturday at 1:25 a.m. about a man slashing tires on Christian Street. Police found Nelson, and he was taken into custody immediately.
This next story is very disturbing and hopefully has a solution soon. A PAC council hearing of more than 200 people listened to unsettling testimonies from young people who have experienced homelessness in the city of Philadelphia. From 2009 to 2013, there was a 73% increase in homelessness among Philly students, a large portion of being either young people who aged out of foster care or LGBTQ youth who found themselves rejected by relatives and kicked out of their families. The city director of support housing says the new goal is to make homelessness rare, brief, and non-reoccurring.
The Virginia Health Department has indefinitely suspended the license of Fairfax clients whose owner has ties to the area. Steve Bringham's abortion clinic was immediately shut down after being cited with a laundry list of violations, ranging from dirty equipment, expired drugs, and unlicensed medical personnel. Brigham has had decades-long of history of regulatory sanctions and criminal investigations stemming from similar failed inspections. American Women's Services, headquartered in Voorhees, New Jersey, is a part of Bringham's abortion clinic. And now we turn over to Alexa Carini to find out who's on the clock tonight in the NFL Draft.
Thank you, Stephen. Today is a very special day for sports fans, a day some may even call a holiday. Today begins the first NFL Draft. The draft will be on ESPN and begins at 8 p.m. this evening. After pleading not guilty, Cardell Hayes has been charged with second-degree murder after shooting New Orleans Saints player Will Smith on April 9th. Hayes hit Smith's vehicle from behind with an SUV, which was followed by an altercation of the two men. After shooting Smith, Hayes also fired on his wife, shooting her twice in the leg. The bail for Hayes has been set to $1.75 million. Oakland Raiders owner Mark Davis announces he would like to move the team to Las Vegas. Davis has promised a $500 million contribution to $1.4 billion stadium in Nevada. Though no promises have been made yet, Raiders fans should be kept on their toes. That concludes today's sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
A 13-year-old boy is lucky to be alive after being shot by police. Baltimore police report the young teen was carrying what turned out to be a fake semi-automatic gun when the officers identified themselves as police to him before he attempted to run away. The teen is expected to survive his injuries. The shooting comes days after a settlement lawsuit was announced regarding 12-year-old Tamir Rice, who was shot and killed by an officer in that city in 2014 when he was caught with a pellet gun. Coming up next, we'll talk about the odd situation Ted Cruz and his presidential campaign are facing.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
McDonald's chicken nuggets are going to become a little more McHealthier. In an effort to turn business around, the world's biggest hamburger chain says it's testing a version of McNuggets without artificial preservatives. It's the latest move by the Golden Arches to become healthier and catch up with the increasing health-conscious eaters. Few details have been released, but the recipe reportedly contains more recognizable and easily pronounced ingredients like lemon juice solids and rice starch.
And now here's Alexis Capelli to tell us what football star is on the move in morning news.
Thanks, guys. It's no secret that Live with Kelly and Michael is now losing the Michael. Strahan will be leaving May 13th after accepting a full-time co-anchor position on Good Morning America. There's no turmoil between the stars. Ripa says she is thrilled for Michael. Kesha is finally back. The singer recently posted an Instagram photo thanking producer Zed for giving her a chance to find her voice again. According to Instagram, the musical pair will officially release their song True Colors on April 29th. Everyone is talking about Beyonce's newest album, Lemonade, but some of the words aren't actually hers. Meet Warsan Shire, a Kenyan-born Somali writer who won the UK's Brunel University Inaugural Prize for African Poetry in 2013. The 27-year-old poet's words are now on the lips of every Queen Bee fan. And for all you Potterheads out there, J.K. Rowling's screenplay of the Harry Potter spin-off Fanatic Beasts and Where to Find Them is set to be published in the fall. The movie will be released on November 18th, and the screenplay will be available on the following day on major e-reader devices. And that's all for entertainment. I'm Alexis Capelli. Back to you guys at the desk.
A new photo technique of Mars shows Europe's long-lost spacecraft, the Beagle 2 lander. And the red planet in new detail, the resolution is 5 times greater than any other instrument orbiting Earth or Mars. Use of this technique could help space agencies select safe landing sites for future Mars missions.
And now here's Janae Fitchett to talk to us about what's going on with Ted Cruz's campaign. Janae, how are you?
Good, how are you guys doing?
So tell us, what's the information about Ted Cruz? What's going on with his campaign?
Okay, so you guys know it's down to 3 candidates in the Republican field: Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and John Kasich. So just yesterday, during a rally in Indianapolis, Cruz announced Carly Fiorina as his running mate. She's the former CEO of Hewlett Packard, and she also was running.
She was,
already.
yeah, a few months ago. Yeah, I remember that.
His selection is a little weird, just because he hasn't gained the nomination. So it's like, how are you going to have a vice president?
And
if
Trump
you
is
haven't
taking
gained-
a big lead.
Exactly, Trump's in the lead. So it's like, him getting the nomination is not really looking likely right now.
So, I mean, what about this whole Kasich and Cruz teaming up on Donald Trump alliance? How's that working out?
Well, so earlier this week, I believe it was Sunday, both campaigns announced that they were, getting a strategic alliance to get Trump out. Just the other day, they both have come out and said there is no alliance that exists. So you do a big press release saying that we're teaming up together to, better our chances of getting him out, and then just today you say there's no alliance.
And weren't there comments made by John Boehner about Ted Cruz?
Yes, so just yesterday, he was talking at Stanford University, Boehner, and he called Ted Cruz, and I quote, Lucifer in the flesh.
Wow, those are some harsh comments.
It is, and he also actually came out and said that he would not vote for Cruz if he became the nominee, but that he would vote for Trump.
Wow, that's crazy.
Crazy stuff going on
Crazy
with Ted
election.
Cruz. It is a crazy election. Thank you, Janae.
Thank you, guys.
Tragedy strikes the University of Georgia after 4 female students were killed in a fatal car crash. 1 student remains in critical condition. The crash occurred just outside of Watkinsville, Georgia, when 2 mid-sized sedans collided. Police say that the 2 vehicles were traveling at high speeds, but still are unsure what caused the accident. All of the victims were from the Atlanta area, and the University of Georgia president says that the incident is heartbreaking and tragic.
There's changes in the Bernie Sanders camp. A spokesman says that the campaign is laying off hundreds of staff members this week. The spokesman claims this is because Bernie Sanders only needs 10 more states to win in the primary, and fewer workers are needed. The layoff is bound to affect hundreds of people, though.
Coming up, find out why Charles Manson is being questioned about a murder that occurred 47 years ago.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
I can't seem to save anything.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Snapchat is facing a lawsuit after a car crash that occurred in Atlanta, Georgia. According to lawyers, 18-year-old Crystal McGee was using a filter on the app that her defense team says promotes speeding. The filter shows how fast an individual or object is moving, and the young driver was trying to get her car up to 100 miles an hour. She struck a parked Uber driver and is now suing McGee and Snapchat. The man struck sustained severe brain injury and large medical bills.
School officials say the 3 students involved in a fight at a Delaware school where 16-year-old Amy Joyner Francis died have been suspended. Wilmington Police Chief Bobby Cummings says charges will be filed in the case, possibly by the end of the week. School officials are hosting parents' meetings this week to help address any concerns. The LA police IDs a dead woman after 47 years. Authorities identify the woman as Reed Jurvetson, who moved to Los Angeles from Montreal the year she was killed. The 19-year-old was stabbed 150 times in 1969 near the site of the Manson family killings. Police used DNA to identify the woman after her sister recognized a photo posted of her body online.
Think you've had a scare on a plane before? Passengers certainly did in London. We'll learn more about that after the break.
We've got a big problem, and we need your help.
It's called sexual assault, and it has to stop.
We have to stop it. So listen up.
If she doesn't consent, or if she can't consent,
it's a crime. It's wrong.
We need all of you to be part of the solution. This is about respect. It's about responsibility.
It's up to all of us to put an end to sexual assault. And that starts with you.
Because one is too many.
I get angry just thinking about it makes me mad. Little kids doing drugs, it turns my stomach. That stuff hurts. It stops you from living up to your potential. It holds you back. It hurts the user. It hurts his family. And it hurts his friends. I just want to shake some sense into you kids that are using drugs and thinking about using. So remember, don't or else. Okay?
Some passengers in the London area got quite a scare Wednesday night flying into the city's Heathrow Airport. At least 2 planes were reportedly struck by lightning. Both planes landed safely and no injuries were reported.
Experts from the National Science Foundation announced they had made some startling new discoveries in regards to our oceans. According to a report published on Wednesday, plummeting oxygen levels in the oceans could lead to a dramatic decrease in wildlife over the next 15 years. The plummeting oxygen levels are in direct correlation with global warming and the Earth's rising temperature.
The Obama administration is putting pressure on individual states to cut back on solitary confinement in prisons. Experts estimate the U.S. prison system has up to 100,000 segregated cells, including 25,000 in total isolation, which exceeds the entire prison population of many countries including the UK and France. The push for the cuts come after the practice was denounced as potentially dangerous. And now we go over to Cherie Moore to find out how the rain could affect your upcoming weekend.
Taking a look at your weather for the Glassboro area, tonight we will have steady showers with a low of 48 degrees. Now keep that umbrella handy because for the 5-day forecast, you will certainly need it. Tomorrow, Friday, will be damp with steady showers with a high of 58 degrees and a low of 46 degrees. If you want to get outdoors, maybe go do some gardening or go to a local flea market that's outdoors, Saturday is the day to do it as it will be partly sunny with a high of 66 degrees and a low of 44 degrees. Sunday and Monday, the rain comes back. You will need your umbrella. Both days will have a high of 60s with lows of 48 and 46 for Monday night. Now Tuesday, the sun comes back and shines in full effect, and we can't wait for it. It'll be a high of 67 degrees with a low of 52 degrees. Now, let's take a look at your weather window. Now, as you can see by this picture that was taken just a little bit ago, the showers are still out there. It's spitting off and on. Very windy. Still a lot of clouds out, but you know, it will
like
clear
puddles,
up.
is it going to affect our weekend, or is there rain for the weekend? What's it looking like?
Well, you don't want to go out tomorrow. You want to stay indoors tomorrow, but Saturday is not a total wash. It will have partly cloudy. It'll be 66 degrees, so get out during the day on Saturday if you want to you guys have plans to go out.
That sounds
be outdoors.
great. At least it's not ruined.
Yeah, exactly.
Netflix and chill on Friday and then go out on Saturday.
And back on Sunday.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you for watching the National Rundown. I'm Matt Gunderson.
And I'm Steven Rodriguez. Have a great night.